Welcome to the Innovate podcast, powered by LUMO. Mind-blowing scientific breakthroughs, streamlining manufacturing, and the latest digital advancements are what we live for. It's what gets us excited. We're innovation fanatics. So, get ready for a new episode of Innovate.
Hello and welcome to the latest Innovate podcast powered by LUMO. Today we have invited Lavinia Malo, who works for one of our latest strategic partners, DRIAD. Today we'll be finding out more about Lavinia, how she found herself in her current role as innovation consultant. So far, DRIAD have raised over 62 million in R&D grants to support their members. In addition, DRIAD can review and advise on bid writing and support their members in project management and open their network to help their clients grow. With over 170 SMEs supported, they have a 77% success rate for gaining R&D grants for their clients. Lavinia, how are you doing? You all right?
Yes, everything's fine. Thank you.
So to start the conversation, let's just start at the beginning. Just tell me a little bit about yourself, where you're from. I know you mentioned before the podcast you're originally from Switzerland, and how you found yourself where you are today.
Right. Well, very broad question, but so my name is Lavinia. Yes, I was born overseas. I grew up in Switzerland, but I'm actually half British, half German. Yes, I found myself with DRIAD. That was about 8 months ago because I needed a change of pace. I have a master's degree in education analytics. So anything that goes from, analyzing how teachers teach and how students learn, literally, that's what it is, very metaphysical. And I was working for Newcastle College. I was an administrator and data analytics. And they had a restructure going on, and I wasn't keen on the new structure, so kind of looked for something else. And so on a more maybe personal note, I've got a passion for music, and I really like gaming. Before you ask, no, not a real gamer. I play on Xbox. I do accept the fate, though. That's fine. And I'm married, and I have a 2-year-old daughter.
I wish I'd found that out before the podcast. As a PlayStation gamer, that is.
Oh, do you want us to,
Let's draw a line here, I think. So you're at DRIAD now as an innovation consultant. So what does that mean? What does your role involve?
Right. So what we do is we support startups and SMEs that are looking to reach funds for their innovation projects. So be it, grants, can be private funding, awards, you name it. We also accompany them to actually structure their research and development pathway over a longer period of time. So we collaborate with them usually around 6 to 12 months. During that time, we aim to find the most relevant opportunities for them. So we write the bids, we set up partnerships, we help with business plans to really try and give them a kind of, all-in-one kind of support.
Mm-hmm. And I think that sits really well with LUMO in regards to, it's not a one-stop shop. It's much more of a collaboration and a partnership, which is very similar to how we look to work. So as a partnership, it sits very well in our own ethos as well as your own.
Yes.
As LUMO support, it's not just your current claim, but it's your future projects. What you've got in your pipeline. So as DRIAD, it's great because you guys start from the beginning of the journey, and we support.
Exactly. And that's why this partnership is so important, because, we can't do it on our own. And the clients, if they need a holistic support, everybody needs to be involved for them to get their innovation running.
So is there certain criteria that your clients need? Are they startups, or can they be established? Or
Well, it depends. They can be established. It depends on what they're actually looking for. So, the usual catch is that grants aren't necessarily available for early stage companies because of that arrears. So you have to match fund and you get the money in arrears. So you have to have the possibility, you have to have the money available before you start. And that's where a lot of early stage companies get a bit maybe confused, because they kind of think, oh, I've got that innovation project that goes with all the criteria, but they don't necessarily think of that side of the thing. And but it doesn't matter, because there's other solutions for early stage startups. So it really depends. They can come to us, and what we usually do is we do an assessment of their readiness. We try and see, what have they got? Where do they want to be? And what's the project? Where does it fit in? And we try and identify the opportunities that would, fulfill their needs.
So it's not a one size fits all. Really anyone at any stage would be worthwhile having a chat with you just to see which journey you can take them on ultimately, depending on the circumstances that they find themselves in. Fantastic.
It's really a tailored approach. We try to be as tailored as possible. And, if obviously we've got quite a lot of partnerships going, so if we can't help, we usually can find somebody that will or can.
And what is that you enjoy most about the role?
There's a few things. I really like writing. So I really enjoy the bid application for grants, restructuring the information that the founders and the CEO give you. It's really quite funny because usually through a very informal conversation, you can have all of the answers to a grant application, but the CEOs and the founders don't even know it. So I quite like that when you kind of transform what they're saying into, actionable insights. I also, like we mentioned, really like the fact we adapt to the needs of the company. It makes it like really more personal and tailored. It's more interesting because you feel like you're actually filling a gap. You're not just like glossing over with some standard offers.
Yeah.
Well, the last thing is like the constant learning when you talk to founders and learn about their innovation, their ideas. It's fabulous. It's like, allowing a glimpse into the future and into the mind of the genius, if you want. It's like you learn something completely new every day. So that's really good.
I know it's similar for us. Like our first meeting with our clients, it's often a real light bulb moment when we discuss what can and can't be claimed. And all of a sudden it's like, well, could we try this? Or can we bring this into it and bring this into the claim? And often 9 times out of 10, the answer is yes. So it's an R&D as a whole. You're absolutely right. It's from food and drink manufacturing to AI to manufacturing any kind of advanced manufacturing. Every client's different and every need is different. So exactly. It's a great role. So what would you say? And this doesn't necessarily have to be a DRIAD, but what would you say has probably been your biggest challenge that you've had to overcome in your professional life?
I would actually say. It's a big answer, but getting into the whole innovation consulting, because it's not my background. Mm-hmm. My background is in education. So I've got a master's degree in education analytics. I worked in research in linguistics. I worked as a teacher. And then I was at the Department of Education in Switzerland as well. So yeah, it's not my background, even though, small parts of the work I've done here and there in project management. But as a whole, it was completely new. So I'm learning so much really quickly, and obviously with a lot of help from the team. So, shout out to our members, Vivian and Thierry, for their support.
Totally done. I like it. I thought, changing careers is always a big step. People are always surprised. When I went to university, I studied nursing, and I find myself here now. So you never know where your career is going to take you, I think.
Yeah, and I've always said, because my mum and dad, they're really supportive and everything I do. But sometimes they're like, where are you going? And the thing is, I always tell them it doesn't really matter, because I use that analogy. It's like my career path is that road that is constantly on road, has constantly got roadworks. Mm-hmm. And you've always have to use the side road for years, and you kind of get used to that side road. And that's kind of what it is. So I don't have that main path. I only have side roads, and it doesn't really matter. It's fun. I like the side roads. They're scenic.
Yeah. No, you're right. My partner's a teacher, and she just can't get her head around. She's been at the same school since she qualified and is on a set journey with roadworks and everything else. And it's how have you even got to where you are? And I'm like, I don't know. I'll work it out once I've grown up. It's the only way I can put it. So, and obviously before lockdown, DRIAD we're doing regular events. Have you got anything coming up that you're involved in?
Yeah, so like you say, we haven't really organised anything in a while, and we do plan to do soon. However, we do have a monthly grant clinic. So at the end of every month, you can register online. It's free through our website. And so if you've got an innovation project, but you're not quite sure what your next steps could be or what kind of funding you could reach, so our CEO, Vivian, will have a half-hour chat with you and discuss over what the options are and answer your questions and things like that. So that's something that has been running virtually throughout the pandemic. Mm-hmm. And like I said, we are planning to slowly start our events again.
If you send us a link to that clinic, we'll put that into the podcast description.
Yeah, we'll do. Yeah.
Down to it, we can do that. That's no problem. So a bit of another broad one for you, just to keep you on your toes.
All right.
What do you wish you'd known when you started out that you know now?
Yeah, hindsight, beautiful thing. Actually, I would say probably that networking is just like a fancy word for making friends as an adult. So I've never had a position where networking was, let's say, necessary. Mm-hmm. So I really thought I didn't have the skills to do any of that. But, with a little help from my friends, I'm getting more and more comfortable with it, and I'm really enjoying it. It's really fun. It's a fun activity.
I think the secret to networking is knowing that everyone's in the same room for the same thing.
Exactly.
I think I probably talk about 20% business when I'm networking, and the rest is just probably my Lego, to be honest.
Your Lego, yes, your Lego is great. I mean,
get away, man. Networking, it's an interesting one. I understand people are afraid of it, but I think when you kind of take your mindset out to realize that everyone, they just want to find new business for themselves, you're all in the same boat. So yeah. The word's been overused, and so you get a bit confused with what it actually means. Mm. Yeah, like you say, everybody's in the same boat. Exactly. So that's fantastic. Is there anything you'd like to add?
No, not necessarily. So, I mean, if you are interested in what we do, you can always find us on social media. We're mainly on LinkedIn, but also on Facebook and Twitter. Oh, we have a YouTube channel, actually, with useful information for companies that are considering maybe grants. Mm-hmm. And you can otherwise just contact us through the website. Yeah.
And if anybody wanted to get in touch with you directly, what would be the best way?
So my email address is the best one to go for. So that's lavinia@driad.co. And just give me a shout. No problem.
Fantastic. We'll do that. And we'll if you can send me the link for the YouTube channel, we'll put that in the description as well. So
I'll do that.
I think there's a few people that could potentially take advantage of your service that we're working with, and we'll keep an ear out for other people who are looking for more R&D grants. But for now, Lavinia, thank you very much for your time. It's been a pleasure talking to you.
Well, thank you.
And we'll look forward to catching up soon, okay?
Yes. Talk to you soon.
Thank you. Thanks.
Thanks for listening to Innovate. For more information about this episode, or to find all of our other episodes, visit www.lumo.tax.